Hey guys, Resident Skirms Enjoyer here with kind of a different video for you guys today. I know I say that in a lot of the starts of my videos, but this one truly is a different video in my opinion. And the concept of this video is quite literally how to have fun in Dead by Daylight. I've seen a lot of people lately get very frustrated with the game, be it the new chapters coming out, the gen kick meta, or just they don't like playing against certain killers, certain survivors, and this frustration has led to a lot of poor interactions within the Dead by Daylight community. So because of seeing this happening all around on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, or just simply in the game, I came up with a few tips to remember to have fun in the game. So my first tip is quite simply that. Remember that it's a game for fun. It's not a competitive game. If you do bad in one game, so what? Go on to the next game. There's nothing holding you back. You're not losing rank. You're not losing elo. You could argue you're losing MMR, but I mean, we all know that's a joke anyways, and it doesn't really matter. I think remembering that your life or, you know, $50,000 isn't on the line every match is a really good mindset to have, because when you remember that it's a game that you're supposed to have fun on, if you've had a really long day at work and you're getting frustrated over a game that you wanted to have fun on, it's just not a really good thing for you to have. So that ties into tip number 2, which is just don't dwell on the past. If you have a bad game, just simply move on, go on to the next game. There's no need to flame in the post game or flame someone in their Twitch chat, leave a really cruel comment on someone's profile. Just move on, play the next game. There's nothing stopping you from hitting continue and queuing literally 5 seconds later. Now, tip number 3 is something that I used literally yesterday, which is if you're not having fun on one side, swap to the other. If you're having really hard killer games that night, or you're just not having fun on killer for some reason, swap to survivor for a bit. You don't even have to be like a good survivor, but sometimes that swap to the other side is really fun and kind of an eye-opener in my opinion. To give you guys an example, I found out last night I just really did not enjoy queuing against the artist, and I was getting a lot of killers that the matches were getting just stale over and over and over again. It was a lot of the same gameplay, a lot of the same builds. So I swapped to killer and I just immediately was having a lot more fun. Just doing what I felt like playing. Now, talking about fun, that really ties into the next tip, which is tip number 4, and that is play for fun. And what I mean by this is set a goal for yourself in each match. That goal can be something like what I've done, as you guys have seen probably if you've seen my streams, which is Backpack Bubba. My goal was to just carry a survivor around and smack other survivors. It could be as simple as loop the killer for like 1 minute in chase, or get a good flashlight save, get a nice head-on play. Something as simple as that. When you're focusing on a goal that is achievable quite easily and something that you have fun doing, is a lot better, in my opinion, than focusing on like, man, I need to get the escape this game, I need to get the 3 to 4K this game. If I don't get that, that I think is something that really tears people's mentalities apart in Dead by Daylight. Alright, so tip number 5 is the last tip for a reason, and you guys will probably see why. The introduction to this is just simply alternating games. A lot of the times people get burnout on Dead by Daylight because that is the only game they play, and sometimes, I mean, burnout happens everywhere in life. But when you keep forcing yourself to play or do something that you're burnt out on, oftentimes it's just not fun for you at all. But if you're not alternating games, or if you're just trying to force yourself to play Dead by Daylight, that is the final tip, which is quite simply, take a break from Dead by Daylight. If you keep forcing yourself to play it, it's not going to be good for you. And personally, me, when I've played games like CSGO in the past and I was just not having a fun time, my shots were off, I wasn't playing well, I took like a week break, a 2-week break, sometimes even a month break, came back, and all of a sudden the game was so much more fun. I was on top of my game, and I personally know a few of my close friends on Dead by Daylight, or even other content creators, who have taken these breaks and come back, and they found the game to be almost seen in a new light. It was just fun again. It wasn't tiring, it wasn't taxing, it was just fun, which is what it's supposed to be. So yeah, fun. Now you see people talk about how they hate the new chapter, or how they hate the gen kick meta, or they hate certain playstyles. And yeah, I am also disappointed in the new chapter, and I also really hate the gen kick meta. If you guys have ever watched me play, I hate kicking gens, and I don't think I've ever really run a gen kicking build unless it's been suggested by a viewer. But I think if a lot more people started playing for fun, we wouldn't have some of these problems. Like, I've seen killers break off chases they could easily get the down on just to go secure that 3-gen by kicking it with Eruption or Pop or whatever regression they have. And a lot of the times it's because they're so focused on getting those kills. Or even for survivors, they're hiding in corners, or they never want to take chase, which to me is the most fun part of Dead by Daylight. And they're so focused on just gen rushing and getting out of that lobby as quick as possible that they forget like what they're trying to do to have fun in that match. And it's kind of a double-edged sword because, you know, a lot of the people who will gen rush will say, "Wow, man, the killer's running gen regression," or "Oh my god, I got like no chases and I was only on gens, it was so boring." Or the people running gen regression will be like, "Wow, you know, they're rushing me and I was trying to kick the gens and I couldn't get it and I didn't get any fun chases and all my downs were boring." I feel like if we just play for fun as a community, or even if some of us remember the game is meant to be played for fun, it would be a lot better for not only ourselves, but for the community as a whole. So if any of these tips were helpful, or if you guys had any other suggestions for tips, or if you even end up using these tips, please let me know in the comments, and I really hope, if you're not having fun in the game, that this video can help you out a little bit. So yeah, have a good day everybody, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.